understand he's not the only one hungry.
For love. Cleabear. I'm watching a nature show. There's a polar bear. Made me think of you because your last name is Bear. This polar bear is hungry for food. You are hungry for love. And I am hungry for love. Your friend is no longer hungry for love. She's got Guido, and I'm sure he keeps her well fed. So that frees up you, and I know, like I said, you know, she is your bestie and blah blah blah, and you know, there might be kind of like maybe a little bit of frenemy. Oh, maybe jealousy is the wrong word, but and I don't think resentment is the right word either. But she might be kind of unhappy with you that you're her best friend, and this just absolute fluke, freak of nature, one in a billion, million, trillion, gazillion, sits in a scenarios arose where, there's like a halfway normal looking dude, who has embraced, Mrs. Butthead's wants, needs, and desires, to fall in love, make babies, and do the hashtag fam thing. And maybe he just, wants to fuck her, a little bit. Maybe he just needed a break, like I said, and I don't want to repeat myself, but Mrs. Butthead, if he had intentions, he might be a fug chaser, that might be his thing. But another option is, he just got tired, figured, okay, low hanging fruit, got big neon sign that says easy across the forehead, walks in, immediately notices that she's like, zeroed in on him. Um, you know, One thing leads to another. He's like, yeah, cool. She wants to make it official because that's how she did, even if he was a troll, or a puss boy or a chump, fucking, mime street performer, whatever. She just fed, fucked, entertained, pulls penis. Hello, let's do this. No, 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 no. This is not a weekend, one and done thing. No, we're dating now. You, me, you know, fugly chicks, get it done in that department. Because of the nature of, expectations and reputation and all that stuff, and can't leave nothing on the table, and blah, 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 blah. It's just most of them don't ever, get out of the gutter because they're dating other gutter rats, and it's just, but and then there's the whole, inability to pair bond, and they just end up being these just low life kind of people, you know, who couldn't figure things out and go for it. And then, you pretty girls, you just figure, well, you're kind of spoiled for choice, boys being annoying, you're turning people away. And then there's the obvious, chicks think that their Prince Charming is right around the corner, and they keep turning these dudes away. And then pretty soon they're in their mid-30s, and they get on the phone, and they're like, Jerry? Hey, Jerry. In the meantime, Jerry's like, you know what, I'll fuck you. I just, I kind of got my own thing going on here. And, well, you're, who you are now. You're older, less attractive, still, need, man to latch onto. Got the baby rabies, and, whatever, it just depends, it just, But, Jerry would probably take Mrs. Fugmug back. I think his name's Jerry. just actually. So anyway, um, but kind of losing my train of thought here. So, she's really laying it on thick, as I've said before, I'll be your loving wife and mother of our children, and make some sandwiches, not just fucking sandwiches, but not like bologna and Swiss cheese and Dijon mustard, but she probably toasts the bread, just like a little bit, not a lot, so it's kind of soft in the middle. And uses two different types of meat, so like bologna and turkey, okay, Swiss cheese and American cheese, and some sort of mustard with spice, so like Dijon on both sides. Don't use like Dijon on one side and mayonnaise on the other, and don't mix shit. Okay, either just go with one kind. Either use mayonnaise, yellow mustard, Dijon mustard, hot and sour mustard, whatever. But just go with one spread on both sides. Do not mix. That is a sin. I just made that up right now, just because it seems reasonable. Don't mix spreads. But so go with something that's got a little bit of bite to it, because every boy loves a little bit of bite. And got to have some crunch to it, so some lettuce, but don't go crazy with it, and maybe some pickle slices, some stackers, or pickle, chips or whatever. And I just thought of this the other day. I'm gonna have to try this. Tabasco, not Mexican hot sauce. It has to be Tabasco. So, Swiss cheese and pepper jack cheese, or you could go pepper jack and American. And put the Tabasco kind of like in the middle, right, like between the cheese and the meat. Okay. Now here's the thing. You broads out there paying attention, Farkles, do not. Okay, so here's how you build this sandwich. Bread, Dijon mustard. Not too much, not too little, okay? You get just enough to kind of cover the whole bread, like not a thin layer, but, just judgment call, just a nice, spread across the whole piece of bread. Bologna, one slice. Turkey, one slice, or whatever the equivalent, pile it on there. Maybe you need to use two. Then put your hot sauce on there, your Tabasco, just enough to kind of, a couple, drops, so it's covered, right? And then put down the American or Swiss cheese. Then put down the pepper jack cheese. Then put down the lettuce, just like one piece, and then put down your either pickle stackers or chips or whatever, so it's thin, so it's on the sandwich. And just go with regular dill. Don't go with any fancy flavor, because they pickle it like in different ways. You can get, what I mean? Just go with the regular, whatever they pickle it in, just pickled cucumber pickle. Sometimes less is more. You probably, as far as a tomato slice or those little ones, slice them in half. And they're kind of, they're like wet, and the pickle chips are wet, yes, but not as much. So maybe you want to put the pickle on top of the cheese, then put the lettuce on top of that. I'm just trying to get some space between, the hot sauce and the lettuce. And I know people are out there, you know, like, well, you're just gonna put it in your mouth and chew it up anyway. Just shut the fuck up. This is why all the men make the best chefs. We think about things like this. Because when you first bite into it, you know, it's that pow, you know, so you don't necessarily want the pickle, which, you know, is going to invade its territory around it right next to the hot sauce, which is going to also invade the territory around it. It's going to soak into the cheese and the meat and whatnot. So you want a little bit of space. So when it first hits your mouth and you take that bite and your tongue and your taste buds are like, pow, yeah, whiz bang, hey, hello. You know, and then as you eat, you know, you chew and then you swallow. That's how you eat. And then, you know, kind of don't, I mean, if you're just, this is not a sandwich to be woofed. Okay. Now, I just made this up right now. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Fuck yeah, it does. Farklez is like, plus she'll probably make it and she's like, oh my God, it is disgusting. It might be, but it sounds good for now. But plus, you know, I mean, you know, people have different tastes. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm a, you know, dip a, you know, pickled something or other and ranch dressing kind of guy. You know, she's, you know, fancy, you know, whatever, chicken cacciatore, pasta alla mavore, you know, whatever type of girl, you know. Um, I'm a, you know, dip the pork chop in barbecue sauce kind of guy, you know, just what the fuck? Yeah! But, anyway, and I like things with kick, you know, and pizzazz and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, you can fuck shit up royally. You know that it might be disgusting. I'll have to make it, but it sounds pretty good. But so then you kind of let your you know mouth clear out, you know, and then take another bite. So you kind of want to keep that shit separate. So so that's that. That's that. Don't you know? Don't yeah. That's it. Oh yeah. But I actually did. I bought some stew meat the other day. Soaked it in. I put it in a bowl and filled it with soy sauce just enough to kind of have it, you know, all drenched, right? And then I put a tablespoon, the big one, of brown sugar in there. Mixed it up, let it sit 12 hours overnight in the fridge. Actually, I let it sit for about half an hour, or no, it may have been an hour out on the counter to like kind of let it warm up and kind of like break down, and then I put it in the fridge. So 13 hours soak. Cooked it in the pan, you know, within the soy sauce, and I cooked it on high heat. It may have been better to cook it on, you know, medium or just under medium, kind of low and slow, because that's how you make things tender. It was tender, but I don't know, it's all right. You know what I mean? Shit. Like I said, ladies, I'm an eligible bachelor. What the fuck? What's with the brown sugar? I don't know. I just thought, you know, but I just ate it plain, of course. You know, um, and I was kind of thinking, you know, it's like if you wanted to make, you could like make a lettuce wrap out of it. You know, you could put it on rice. You could put it with just sauteed vegetables, you know, bell peppers and onions and tomatoes and mushrooms. But because of the soy sauce, it's kind of got that, you know, Asian persuasion, you know, ring to it. Now, I've never made lettuce wraps. I've eaten them before. They're good. So they do have some sort of like sauce in it. I guess it could just be plain soy sauce, but it's the stuff that I had. I think it was, what the hell? Not Benihana's, although I've eaten there. It was P.F. Chang's, yeah, and it was like some sort of. It wasn't soy sauce. I mean, it had soy sauce in it, but it was more of a brown, not black, and it was more of like a sweetness to it. But anyway, and then put an olive on top with a toothpick. So, Mrs. Butthead is doing shit like that, you know. So Guido is kind of like, he was gonna do, pump and dump, date her, fuck her, for 3 weeks, or I'm sorry, 3 months, 6 months. But now he's like, shit, I don't know. And of course, Mrs. Butthead, humps his leg every time he gets home. But anyway, cleabear, like I said, you kind of painted yourself in the corner with this strong, independent, little Miss Business Owner thing. So you won't just settle for any chump unless it's like physical, and he checks all the boxes. He could be a lowly blue collar, construction worker if he's fit, good looking, and just checks all the boxes. He's fun to be around. Just whatever your personality and requirements and whatever you consider a good dude to be, if he, matches. With a little bit, you got to have a look, because like I said, they say opposites attract within reason, obviously. So there's got to be some things that are like, but you got to have a little tension on the threads, otherwise it falls apart. You got to have a little bit of edge here and there, Otherwise you're like, what the fuck? We're just so much alike. This is stupid. But anyway. So, and it helps, like, if he's got some hobbies that you're, like, not into, but, like, maybe you like skydiving, and you're like, oh, hell no, and he's like, yeah, no, it's pretty safe. Maybe you have no desire to swim, or at least stand in a cage with sharks in the ocean, and he's like, oh, yeah, actually, it's pretty neat, I'd do it. Hell yeah. I wouldn't do it outside the cage just because of that, 1 in a million, fuck up. Because sharks aren't these mindless killers. I mean, you can actually swim with them. You know what I mean? But yeah. So anyway, is it on my bucket list? Well, maybe if I had a booth egg in my life, I'd make a bucket list. I don't have a bucket list. Oh my God, you really should. Yeah, well, I don't. But yeah. But anyway, your caramel cream dream, that thing that you said, quit wasting our fucking time. Our prime baby making years. And it's like, well, what were you doing? And, oh, well, I don't know, I mean, I guess, especially in your case, like I said, with Mrs. Fugmug, it's just a numbers game, Okay, I'm tired of dating you, okay, it's been real, okay. She stays single, for, however the hell long she wants, because she's female, so if she wants to get in a relationship, all she has to do is, hey, you there, silly boy, my name's Fugmug. What's yours? She's in a relationship. She just met her next boyfriend. She just met her next husband, if that's what she wants to do. So, and even, I thought you said, they stay in the lane. And, well, I mean, every guy is down to fuck. And Mrs. Butthead isn't that ugly. It's like your brain just can't make up your mind. And I guess that's all I gotta say, baby. So what the hell happened? That's because you were dating that old dude. Cleabear. Sucks to be you. You're sorry. Not sorry. No sympathy. Because that's twice now. Because I remember, because I was stalking you or whatever. Trying to turn bullshit into sugar. What happened? You meet him a chick with big knockers and cheat on you, did he? You fucker. You were going to be the one. An old dude, you know, maybe he owned a motorcycle shop or whatever. God damn it. We're both business owners. You fucking asshole. You know, and you're like, you got self-respect, so you're like, fuck you. You know, hopped on the back of his bike and rode all the way home. Okay, anyway. And then, you know, your caramel cream dream. Just out of the blue. You fucking silly boys need to quit fucking around. Oh, cleabear, I laugh at you. So anyway, hit me up, leave a comment below. I'll waste 2 more weeks of your life.